You know, every once in a while in sports, a rookie comes along who's just different. They don't just play well, they completely change the game. And right now, we're seeing one of those historic rises making all the headlines. But there's a huge catch to this story. I mean, what happens when you have this absolute superstar, a total supernova, but she's on a team that just cannot stop losing? Well, you get this, legendary, once-in-a-generation performance, happening while the team is just falling apart. And that contrast, that's what makes the Paige Bueckers story just so fascinating.
So, let's get into it. To really understand just how big of a deal this is, we've got to look at the numbers. And believe me, this isn't just a, hey, she's pretty good for a rookie kind of thing. No, this was one of the most statistically insane debuts the WNBA has ever witnessed.
Okay, let's just start with the biggest number. The one that basically put an exclamation point on her whole season, 44. That's right, 44 points in one game. As a rookie. I mean, that record-breaking game against the Sparks, it made the entire league stop and take notice.
And look, that 44-point game was not a one-off thing. It wasn't a fluke. It was really just the brightest highlight in a month of absolute dominance. Just look at her averages for August. We're talking over 20 points, 5 assists, and she was shooting nearly 50% from the field. That is elite consistency. And her impact was felt all over the court, not just scoring. It is so rare to be in the top 10 for points, assists, and steals. In fact, think about this. She's the only player in the entire league to do it. That just puts her in a completely different category, way beyond just being the best rookie.
So when you're putting up numbers like that, yeah, the league is going to notice. All that dominance on the court, it started turning into some serious hardware, some official awards, really cementing her status as a superstar.
This timeline right here really tells the whole story of the season. Kiki Iriafen from the Mystics, she came out of the gates hot, won the award in May. But then the takeover happened. June, July, August, all of them went to Paige Bueckers. She didn't just join the race for Rookie of the Month, she completely ended it. And winning 3 of those awards in a row, that puts her in some seriously exclusive company. She's only the 10th player in the entire history of the WNBA to pull that off. So this wasn't just a strong season, it was genuinely historic. It made her the absolute, undeniable frontrunner for Rookie of the Year.
And hey, if anyone still had any tiny little shred of doubt, that 44-point game completely erased it. I mean, sure, other rookies were having good seasons, but pretty much everyone agreed that performance right there, it just ended the debate. The Rookie of the Year award was basically hers.
But, and this is a big but, here's where the story takes a really sharp turn. All this amazing individual success, all this celebration, it was happening while her team was just not winning. So now we got to flip the coin and look at the other side, the reality for her team, the Dallas Wings.
And the contrast is, it's just jarring. Seriously. On one side, you have every award a rookie could dream of. All-star starter, record breaker, you name it. And on the other side, the brutal truth for her team, dead last in the league, stuck in a massive losing streak, with absolutely zero shot at the playoffs. Just look at that record, 9 wins and 32 losses. That's not just a bad record, that's the worst record in the entire WNBA. And that is the backdrop for one of the greatest rookie seasons we have ever seen. It's wild.
So, with the present looking so rough for the team, of course, the whole conversation starts to shift. You start looking to the future. Because when you land a star this bright, you don't just sit back and watch. You build the entire franchise around her.
But you know what? That awful record comes with a pretty huge silver lining. The Dallas Wings now have the best odds, a 40% shot, at getting the #1 pick in the next draft. This is a massive chance for them to bring in another top-tier talent to put right alongside Bueckers. And for any Wings fans out there feeling a little nervous about the lottery, just remember this. They've gotten lucky before. They got Paige Bueckers with only a 22.7% chance at that #1 pick. So now, with their odds almost doubled, the chance of getting another game-changing player feels pretty darn real.
Which brings us to the final, and maybe the most interesting question. This next draft is stacked, but there's one name that keeps popping up over and over. Azzi Fudd, who just happens to be Bueckers' old teammate from UConn. So could the answer for Dallas be right there? Pairing their superstar with someone she already has that championship-level chemistry with? Man, that's a thought that should have the entire league keeping a very close eye on what Dallas does next.